exciting. It's been about 2.5 years, maybe longer, since we first, decided we were going to go for it. So it's amazing seeing it finally come to this point. It was the greatest moment of my career, really. I've been wanting to film something there for so long. It's where I'm from, and favourite moment was just anything in and around the 40 foot, which is, this beautiful swimming area in Dublin, and it was just glorious. Well, I'm from a family of, got 2 brothers, 2 sisters, so I'm a big sort of bunch of siblings. I know what it feels like, to be part of that kind of a tribe, and I'm always looking for stories that have a really great premise, but also have something really, important to say at the heart of it. So even though it's dark and there's comedy and it's, it's got quite an emotional beating heart, and I think that's just what I look for in all my projects. I'm excited for them to see the cast. Like, they are, they're just so exceptional, and I watched them in the edit for the last year and I haven't grown tired of their faces, so I'm really, really excited for them to see, especially the slightly newer cast, and some of the younger ones. They're all...
So we're right by the River Thames on a beautiful sunny evening, and we're about to have a premiere of our new show for Apple TV Plus called Bad Sisters, which is written by the brilliant, extraordinarily talented Sharon Horgan. And it's a comedy drama, I guess you'd say, about a family of 5 sisters, one of whom I play, called Grace, has married very badly, and she's in a very coercive, controlling marriage. And so the other sisters are desperate to rescue her by fair means or foul, and so a little murder plot begins. Well, it's been fantastic working with Sharon because I'd been a fan of her work for a long time, and so I had no doubt of her brilliance. As soon as I read the script, I was desperate to be part of it. But just to watch her work ethic and her dedication to her projects is very inspiring, and she's just so clever at writing this sort of duplicity, this sort of sense of comedy and tragedy all at once. That's very unusual, I think.
It's really exciting because it's just too long since I've seen all my sisters, my on-screen sisters, and we had such a lovely time working together. I've really missed them, so to sort of come back together to celebrate the show. Sharon's an amazing writer, and I think she's done an incredible adaptation. Not that I've seen the original, but I think she's always been able to, put her own twist and style and stance on something, and she's just an incredible job with the scripts. But I think it's a show that has a broad appeal. Like, it's a whodunit, it's a thriller, it's a comedy, it's a very dark comedy. So there's a huge amount going on tonally, and I think it's really exciting and enjoyable to watch. I just think audiences are really going to sort of lean into that. At the heart of it, there's actually quite a serious storyline about an abusive relationship. But what Sharon and the team do so incredibly well is that they know when to lean into the more serious side of that. That's purely drama, obviously, but to sort of alleviate that and to make it sort of an easier view in some sense that they incorporate the comedy into it. And I think it's trying to gauge that balance and when to lean more into one than the other. So I think it'll open up, discussion about, the abusive relationship that's at the heart of this story. And I think doing that through sort of the guise of comedy is a good way to open up that kind of discussion that sometimes people might shy away from or not want to watch in the first place. So I think it'll bring in sort of possibly a wider audience because it's done through that more kind of dark comedy genre without being disrespectful or insensitive to the subject matter. It's always so lovely to film back in Ireland, that's where I'm from, obviously, but I live in London, so to go back home and to see everybody and to work there is just gorgeous. But also, I don't think I've really seen Ireland, Dublin in particular, portrayed in the way that the show does it. I mean, we had incredible directors across the series, incredible team, crew, DOPs, so it looks really sexy and gorgeous. The coastline is so beautiful, so just to see that represented on screen in this way is really exciting and really lovely.
It's the first time Sharon Horgan has, her writing's so incredible, so it's the first time that she has delved into the kind of world of thriller and that kind of darkness. She's kind of famous for being a comedy writer, and so for her and her first adaptation as well. So I think she absolutely nails it, and she's just such an incredible writer. I think, everyone's going to be really surprised by this. I have a sister, and I would do absolutely anything for her. So, would I kill for her? Probably, probably. If somebody was hurting her in the way that Grace is being abused, then I think it's really hard to stand back and watch somebody getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and it's hard and to not do anything, and you feel very helpless, and especially when someone's not reaching out and asking for help when they're constantly covering. But if it's your sister or someone that close to you, it's you can see what's happening, and it's when do you say something or when do you act.
So good, kind of emotional a little bit. I've got my actual sister here and then my on-screen sisters here, so it's nice. Sharon's the best. She's a G. You gotta just go with Sharon. Whatever she says, you do it. If you have the opportunity to work with her, you do it. Probably the sisters as a real family. I think we pulled off the dynamic of a true family, people who love each other and also want to kill each other, and all of that sort of madness and drama, and it also being really funny, I think was done really well.
Where we're at the BFI South Bank on the river. It's a wonderful place. Like when I lived in London, I'd come here all the time to see movies, old, new, whatever. It's just an amazing institution, so I'm thrilled to be here with Bad Sisters. We shot a lot out in Howth in Dublin, which is where I grew up, so I was able to cycle down from my folks' home. I was very close to home, so it's always a pleasure to be back. And then we shot in Belfast and London as well, so we've been all over, and it was a huge operation to get it done, considering where we were last year, especially with COVID. So props to everyone who worked on the thing, just being able to get it over the line. The story of the sisters is so funny and heartfelt, and I was about to say like being Irish, from big families and all that, but it definitely is universal. I think we all have families, so I think people recognise all of that in terms of how the sisters relate to each other and how they look after each other, but also slag each other. So it's really universal in that. And what attracted to me was that Thomas Claflin, who I play, is just a fantastic character, and Sharon's able to write characters that have a multitude of different personalities within them that feel coherent. So that's why I loved it. She's an absolute dream. The first scene with Thomas Claflin, he's trying to reach over and get a folder from his back seat, and he's failing to get it, and it's very humorous. And his brother turns around and gets the folder for him, which is the case that they're trying to crack with the Garveys. So you have a humorous moment, and then you also have the entire story of their relationship kind of summed up in this one moment, just compressed into one scene. And I just thought, that's why she's great. That's why Sharon's amazing, to be able to write stuff like that.
We're at BFI South Bank. We have the premiere of Bad Sisters for Apple TV+. It's good to be here. It's amazing. It's like, we started shooting this last July. Took 7 months in the midst of a pandemic. Stop and start at times. But to finally get here and to have a release at the late summer is really fun. I love getting back to Ireland, I've been in London 5 years now, so it's not often that I get back home to shoot something. So to go back there and to actually shoot the show with a full Irish, cast and Irish crew and, writers, it felt really cool. I felt like the scripts were so unique, and Sharon just managed to really grab that tone of comedy and darkness running alongside each other, and I felt like it was something special, and I was just really flattered that I could even audition and, be a part of it. I think just people will enjoy something that's a bit different, to be honest, and I think people will have a good laugh, and at the same time they'll be wanting to know what happens in the next episode for sure.
What Sharon Horgan has done on this is like something I would never think anybody could do and pull off. She owns a company that's produced it, so she's a producer, she's a showrunner, she's a writer, and she's an actress in it. And if I had to wear all those 5 hats, I'd probably you couldn't be around me. I'd be the worst person ever. And she has just sort of balanced that so brilliantly, and it's been so amazing to have, you know, her on set. Because, I mean, on days when she was not in the scene, she would still be there, and you could go to her and you could ask her questions. I mean, if a scene was sort of like slightly hard to get to work with, I mean, you could always get help from her. Really cool. Very, very cool.
It's absolutely mad. I've definitely not done anything this big before. A little bit overwhelming, just a little bit, but it's so crazy. Like, I never imagined this, like, ever.
Yeah, especially the Irish sensibility and the Irish sense of humor. I think it really like complements wonderfully with the tone of the show and the tone of the original Glam. So it was a great match. Oh, she's done an excellent job. We're so proud. Yeah, the show looks amazing. It's
For sure.
an incredible cast. Oh, it's going to be a big roller coaster. It's a very interesting blend. We've got some drama, thriller, very dark comedy.
She created this about
10 years ago.
10 years ago. And so just the journey to get to this place today is amazing and overwhelming and great. Yeah.
It's almost day on day. 10 years ago that it premiered in Belgium.
Yep.
Really today, it's really almost day on day. So it's really special.
It's very exciting. It's taken a while to get here. It's been a couple of years in the process, but very excited to finally have people see it.
Brett and I have been working on this show for a really long time, and you know, being shooting the whole thing, and finally getting here to see it. It's really exciting. Obviously, it's the culmination of a long road. So very excited to finally see it. The sisters are something to behold. You believe that those people are related to each other. They act like a family. They really are sort of in each other's DNA. It's pretty amazing to watch. You think, okay, she's an actor. It'll be really funny, but she's also the best writer. Like, to have both those things in one person, and a great person, like, and just being there with her on set is just like, you stand back and you go like, okay, this is good. She's got this. So yeah, it was very exciting. Bad Sisters is something you have to see from beginning to end. And trust me, you'll want to see it from beginning to end.
Bad Sisters is the story of 5 fantastic Irish sisters who plot to murder their brother-in-law, affectionately known as the Prick. And who amongst us isn't stuck beside a member of the family at Christmas that they're desperate to elbow out of the way? It feels fantastic to be finally here after all the days, months, years of jumping in days and months of jumping in the 40-foot and prepping for and working with the girls. It's brilliant. It was brilliant working in Ireland because I haven't filmed in Ireland for ages. I've done lots of it abroad, and definitely my favourite location was the 40-foot in South Dublin, where we all normally go swimming. It was finally great to be there with the camera crew and the cast. It was super. I'm most excited that people see the fantastic bond there is fictionally between the 5 sisters, the 5 Garvey sisters, and know that that bond is as real and lively and enjoyable in real life. Just 5 brilliant Irish actresses, and they do what we all do. We kill for our family. It's all about sisterly love. It's fantastic. What resonates most deeply is the bonds and love of family. And most of us are from deeply dysfunctional families, but the dysfunction is only from the outside. You know, on the inside there's great bonds. And I think there's a great story, thriller story, and great fun at the heart of this, but ultimately the story of the family. And there's a saying in Ireland that we grew up with: the family that prays together stays together. You know, your aunt, the head nun at school, was always saying it. But what I love about this is the family that slays together stays together.
Amazing. I've worked on the show for almost 2 years, so it is really incredible now to be here and just to feel the general sort of buzz about it. It's lovely. Obviously, everyone knows Sharon is really funny. But she's written a brilliant thriller, and I'm really excited for people to see that. The theme of love and what you would do for love, that resonated for me for sure. Yeah. I don't have loads of sisters. I have 3 brothers, but I'd kill for them. Yeah.